Hi everybody, Sandy here from Sandi Cooks. Tonight I'm going to make a takeoff on baked ziti. I don't have a ziti, alright, so I'm going to use, what am I using? Rigatoni. So I'm going to make some baked rigatoni. I'm going to use my regular pomodoro sauce. Ooh, start this over. Hi everybody, Sandy here from Sandi Cooks. Sandi Cooks, okay. Hi everybody, Sandy here from Sandi Cooks. Tonight I am going to be making a one-off of baked ziti. I don't have any ziti, so I'm going to use rigatoni. It's a little bit thicker. Actually, I'll show you. It's a much bigger piece of pasta, much thicker, and I'll show you how to do this because we're going to bake it, how to make sure that it fits. And I'm going to use my pomodoro sauce, but I'll make some meat to go with it, so it'll be a meat sauce, and we'll put cheese and everything, the whole deal. So come along with me, and we'll make some baked rigatoni. Come on. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you is how to measure this out. Because if I make this whole big thing, I'm going to have way too much pasta. This is the pan I'm going to use for tonight. So remember that your pasta is going to double in size. Alright, so if we go about like that, it'll fill the whole thing up. So that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be the amount of pasta. I'm going to get some water going with lots of salt in it. Remember, you want your water to taste like the sea when you're cooking pasta. And then, once I got that going, I'm going to start prepping for the meat. So I'll show you how to do that. All right, there's my water. And I'm not kidding about salt. I mean, you want it salty. Otherwise, your pasta's not going to come out tasting seasoned. All right, so I got a big onion here. I'm not going to use this whole thing. I'm going to use half of it-ish. So I'm going to put this over here. We'll save that for some other meal. And then we'll just chop this. We compost, so that's all I'm doing here is just putting these skins into our little bin so that I can take it out and put it in the pile later. Alright, so I've shown you this before. I make little vertical slices here. I showed you in the last video how shallots are different than onions in their structure. And I'll show you that here in a second, although I don't have a shallot handy. But here's the deal. Onions are in these different layers, so when you cut them this way, against the cuts I just made, they end up nice and sectioned and chopped and good size chunks. With shallots, you have to cut this way also if you want them to be nicely diced like that. Just something to remember. Okay, onions. I need a little bit of garlic. Okay, I'm going to use 3 cloves of garlic. I've got about half a pound of meat that I'm going to brown. And what I usually do, because garlic cooks faster than the onions, and because if the garlic starts to brown, it gets bitter. We don't want bitter garlic. I won't throw the garlic in until I'm ready to throw the meat in. So the onions will go in first. I will saute them until they are translucent. And then I will add the garlic and the meat. By doing it that way, it helps with everything's timing, so things don't end up burnt and tasting icky. All right, that looks pretty good. Get one of these little bowls. And I'll use some Italian spices with the meat also, some dried spices. All right, so there we go. We got our onion, we got our garlic, and we can start sauteing our meat off. Okay, my water is just starting to boil. I'm actually going to move it one burner over, because I'm going to saute my meat on this one. Alright, so I'm going to use olive oil in here. A couple tablespoons. And then our onions. We'll just start with that. Leave the garlic here. Here's my little half pound of ground beef. I got sauce here. I got more in the microwave. I got cheese. So everything I need is right here. As soon as this boils again, I'll add the pasta to it. And we'll keep going. Alright. My onions are sauteing. I'm going to hit them with a little kosher salt. And a little pepper. And some Italian seasonings. We want to do it, we want to add this stuff at each stage as we're cooking here. We want every ingredient to be seasoned appropriately. And we bring it all together, and the whole thing comes together and nothing tastes unseasoned. Alright, my pasta water's ready, so I'm going to take my pasta and drop it in there. And what do we always do as soon as we put our pasta in the water? Where's my mixer? I'm missing a mixer. Okay, we'll use this one. We give it a stir, because we don't want our pasta to stick together. Alright, I'm going to move this out of the way. Turn the heat down a little to medium. You can see the onions are sweating. They're getting pretty close to translucent. We got our garlic here. Okay, we got our ground beef here. Got a spoon ready. And a spoon rest. Give this another stir. Alright, so now I'm going to add the ground beef in here. And our garlic. And salt. And pepper. And Italian seasoning. And then we got to break that up, because otherwise it's all going to stick together and be lumpy, and nobody wants that. I'm going to set my oven to 325 and let that preheat. I'm using a low setting because we're not going to really need to cook it, right? The pasta's going to be cooked, the meat's going to be cooked. All we're really doing is heating it all the way through and letting the cheese melt and letting all those flavors meld together. So we're going to want, 20 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes at least. But we don't need a high temperature. Now the thing about rigatoni, I'm going to turn this down a little bit since it's boiling so well. The thing about rigatoni is it's much thicker than ziti, the pasta. So it takes longer to cook. That's going to need a full 10 to 12 minutes, and we'll check it and make sure it's all good. All right. So this looks cooked. Give it a taste. Needs more salt. A little bit more pepper. Not too much. And even a little bit more Italian spices. Okay, I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to put it on a cold burner. Oh, what did I do over here? Oops. Okay. So now we'll just let that cook. It'll take about 10 minutes. We'll drain it off, mix it with the meat, add sauce to it. I've got my pomodoro sauce here that I pulled out of my freezer. And we'll put it in the casserole dish, put cheese on top, and throw it in the oven. While we're waiting here, I'm going to make garlic bread. Okay, it's been several minutes now. You can see our pasta is much bigger. Hasn't been quite 10 minutes yet. I can still look at these and I can tell they're not quite done yet. So I'm going to let them go a few more minutes. Alright, how do we know our pasta's done? We taste it. We chew it. We feel it with our teeth. It's the only way to know it's done. You can't throw it against the wall. You can't just time it. No, hot. It's still hot though. One more minute. Alright, it's been a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and drain this, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to mix it into the pasta, and we're going to add sauce to it, and then put it in our casserole. Alright, there is my rigatoni. Use this here's sauce, so let's put in a healthy amount to start, and we'll see. Not going to be saucy enough. Wow. I still may have been too much pasta that I made. I definitely want this saucy, so don't skimp on the sauce. I guess, you obviously you can do what you want to your personal taste. We like our pasta saucy. So, I'm going to add more to this. Alright, that actually looks pretty good. So, let's get our tray here. Look at that, it fits. Perfect. Okay. This is still hot, still I'm trying to be careful here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Alright, so I got that on there now, and we're just going to put cheese on top. I'm going to do that over here where it's not hot. Okay, here I just have a mix of mozzarella and provolone that I'm going to use. And we're just going to sprinkle this on top till we get a good coating on here. Actually, I think I'm going to use the whole bag. There we go. Alright, that's going to go in the oven, like I said, at 325 for about 20 minutes. Okay, so you can see here, it's not where we want it yet. I want it golden brown. So what I've done is I put it on broil and high, and we're gonna let that go for a couple minutes to get a nice crusty brown on top. All right, let's see where we're at here. Ooh, may have let that go a touch too far. Not too bad though. I'm gonna turn the oven off. Turn it off of broil back to bake. Because I just have garlic bread sitting in there now, and that's hot enough, so we're good to go. Anyway, all right, let's see here. Well, it's not perfect, okay? But not bad. And I am certain that it is going to taste great. So, anyway, that is baked rigatoni in a meat sauce. Dinner!
If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Subscribe to Sandi Cooks on YouTube so you don't miss new videos.